African leopards are members of the cat family. They are smaller and more agile than African lions, Asian tigers, or South American jaguars. The leopard family are probably the most widely distributed of all wild cats. They are found in sub-Saharan Africa, Northeast Africa, Central Asia, India, and China. Outside of Africa, leopards are endangered. The country with the highest number of leopards in the world is said to be Zambia. Leopards are different to other spotted cats in that they have rosettes instead of single spots. We are taking a glimpse into the life of an African leopard. Leopards are solitary creatures. Each leopard has its own territory. Typically, a female has 10 square kilometers, and a male's territory, such as this one, would overlap at least 3, 4, or 5 female territories, depending on his prowess. There are only 3 conditions under which leopards interact with other leopards: when they are fighting for territory or food, sometimes causing terribly debilitating injuries, when they are mating, and when the mother is raising her cubs. The largest part of a leopard's life is spent completely alone, fending for itself, hunting for itself, and defending its territory by itself. Their main competitors are lions, who operate in prides, looking after each other, hunting together, and supporting each other in the raising of the young. And hyenas, who work together in clans, doing much the same as the lions to support each other. Because they are much lighter and smaller, leopards have to continually be mindful of these adversaries, even when hunting for their own food. They cannot defend their kill against a hyena clan or a lion pride, so their only option is to hoist the prey high into a tree where neither the lions nor the hyenas can reach it. Desperate lions do climb trees, but they are too heavy for the thinner branches that a leopard can traverse. Fighting for a prey item is not an option for the wary leopard. A small injury in a lone hunter can lead to starvation, whereas the adversaries can fall back on the support of their pride or clan in order to sustain themselves when they have an injury. Occasionally, another leopard will attempt to steal one's prey, and if that leopard is stronger than you are, there is nothing much that you can do. Luckily, due to territorial rights, this is not common. It is restricted mostly to the dominant male in the area stealing from the females. Leopards have different hunting styles. Some favor a long, very patient stalking process that needs to get them within a few meters of the prey before the final attack. They have tremendous agility, but they aren't able to run down their prey in the way that a cheetah would. Others use ambushing techniques, observing regular behaviors in prey animals and then concealing themselves in an ambush. In almost every case, success relies on patience, culminating in a surprise attack. The stalking leopard can move slowly, quietly, carefully, and silently for hours in order to get close enough to launch that final attack. Even when the prey animals suspect their presence, they will go down low and wait slowly and carefully until the suspicions have been allayed, and then they will resume their quiet approach. Leopards who prefer the ambush style can sit for hours outside a warthog hole, for example, and just wait until that warthog emerges. We've seen a specialist like Okamuri do that for more than 16 hours. Very soon after a successful hunt, a leopard must find a suitable tree into which it can hoist its prey. The kill must be executed quickly and silently so as not to attract hyenas. A living prey animal can be a real nuisance when one is hoisting it into a tree, and if you're not quick, the hyenas will be waiting before the prey is dead. A good tree is one whose bark allows adequate claw purchase and whose branches can provide opportunities that are safe from lions. Leopards have individual styles in the hoisting process. Hoisting has a very high energy demand, leading to a balanced decision. Some will get the prey into a tree as quickly as possible. Others will eat as much as they can on the ground, taking a gamble with their competitors. Once they've had a good meal and they've regained some of the energy spent in the hunt and kill, they will hoist the remnants. These remnants are now lighter and less energy sapping to lift. They seldom eat the entrails, so the more experienced ones will disembowel the prey animal before hoisting it. In this way, they are spending energy on lifting only the worthwhile parts. The entrails that have been left behind will help to provide a distraction for the ever-present hyenas. If on safari you see a hyena, it is worthwhile to keep a sharp lookout for a leopard or another big predator. Once the kill has been found by a hyena, it only takes minutes for more hyenas to arrive and turn the situation into a feeding frenzy. The leopard, of course, cannot afford the possible injuries that could result from defending her prey. She forfeits her prize and rapidly beats a retreat. The hyenas battle for the remains according to their own hierarchical rules. Leopards spend a lot of time patrolling their territories, scent marking the borders to post information about themselves. There are different types of scent marks. The most obvious is a little spray of urine. To humans, this urine marker smells exactly like fresh, buttered popcorn. To other leopards, it provides a large amount of data, including the age, sex, and physical prowess of the urinator, the time elapsed since the marking, and in the case of females, the state of sexual readiness in terms of the estrus cycle. Mature males will often scrape their feet in their own urine. This is done so that they can leave a better scent trail when they continue their walking on patrol of their territory. These males will also sometimes vocalize to advertise their presence. They do this especially when they suspect that there may be another male encroaching on their territory, or when there may be a female nearby who would respond to their call. There he goes, scraping his feet in urine again, so as to continue marking his territory with his smelly footsteps. Many game rangers and other experts believe that leopards have cheek glands with which they transfer scents onto objects such as the leaves or branches of shrubs during their scent marking patrols. However, zoologists have histologically examined the skin areas in question and have not been able to find any evidence of such glands. They believe that instead of a marking activity, scent rubbing is a scent gathering activity. It is similar to a domestic dog rolling in smelly substances or a cat rolling in catnip. This scent gathering is unique to carnivores, and there is scientific work to indicate that these gathered scents add to the perceived prowess and attractiveness of the animal carrying them. When a male on patrol encounters the marks of a female in estrus, he will follow her scent until he finds her. A female in estrus will follow the scent trail of a mature male, and when she finds him, she will display her interest in mating. If she cannot find a suitable male marker, she may resort to making a loud rasping or sawing call from her own territory to advertise her availability to any male in the region. The mating process lasts 2 or even 3 days. During this time, the couple stay close to each other, mostly resting. Every 10 to 20 minutes, the female will get up and approach the male, rubbing her cheek or her body or her tail against him to show her readiness for copulation. After a bit of this flagrant display, the male will apparently reluctantly get up and satisfy her needs. The end of every copulation is marked by a violent outburst of growling, clawing, and biting. The male mostly appears to be trying to prevent or subdue an attack by the female. The reason for the female's anger is the pain inflicted on her by the barbed male penis. The raking of the vagina by these barbs is thought to stimulate ovulation. Despite the apparent discomfort, the female continues to entice her partner to copulate over and over again for the 2 or 3 days it takes to satisfy her needs. The leopard's gestation period is between 90 and 105 days. Being solitary, the female leopard is forced to continue hunting and maintaining her territory throughout this period. Group-based predators such as lions and wild dogs can rely on the rest of their group to support them when they are heavily pregnant. It is therefore possible for them to have larger litters. The leopardess usually has 2 cubs, sometimes 3. Carrying more than 3 cubs would compromise her ability to hunt, and thus her ability to survive. A female leopard usually inherits the territory from her mother, often a part of her mother's domain. She may then slowly expand this territory as new balances of power develop, as neighbors die, or when fights are won. If her own birthplace falls within her territory, she will usually go back to virtually the same spot to have her own cubs. It seems to us as humans to be a tradition passed from one generation to another, but it could just be that she chooses the safest place in her territory to have her cubs, just as her mother had done. Cubs, born with closed eyes and poor mobility, are very vulnerable. Other predators will kill them as they represent future competition for food. Wandering males in their father's territory would also kill them, because this would bring their mother back into estrus and then give the new male a chance to disseminate his genes. Here we see a pair of leopard cubs that were born in the ensuite outside shower of a bedroom in a lodge. A very safe spot when your mum knows the way through electric fences and into shower cubicles. Safe from hyenas, lions and most other leopards. Their beautiful mother, Tiani, had been born in a different part of the same lodge. She could leave them in this shower cubicle so that she could regain her strength by hunting, drinking water, and improving her milk supply for them. Due to the threat of discovery of her fairly helpless cubs, their mother moves them often enough to avoid the smells of their den building up and giving away their possession. She carries them from one hiding place to another and ensconces them safely with the necessary discipline so that they would stay exactly where they were put. Meanwhile, she would still have to hunt and drink water in order to ensure that her milk supply was sustained. Of course, some of their safety also depends on their father keeping his territory safe of visiting males who would kill the cubs in a flash. As the cubs grow and gain mobility, the discipline needs to be maintained. A cub dare not leave its hiding place even if it can see its mother. The mother, when she has returned from a hunt and possibly been away for more than a day, will first lie down and check out the area, and when she is sure that there is no danger, she will give a soft, high-pitched command, allowing her cubs to break cover and to approach her. The sound frequencies used in this command are inaudible to human ears, yet the cubs respond remarkably. A different command will make a cub drop whatever it's doing and scuttle off into a safe area. We have witnessed these commands at work over a considerable distance, making a cub who was busily eating vanish. The command was given by the mother, who was lying on a high area in guard some distance away. She was able to see the approach of a hyena from beyond her reach. The hyena rushed in and claimed the kill, but the cub was safe. A clever mother will find a spot to match their needs. Here we find the two cubs that were born in the shower, now 4 months old, running around and playing tag in the safe jungle gym of a huge jackalberry tree. The tree is high on the bank above a dry riverbed. One of them is carrying a squirrel skin like a soft toy, and it is clear by now they are adept climbers. clear view in all directions will allow the cubs to spot danger a long way away and to hide themselves high in the thin branches. Their mother is nowhere to be seen, but her tracks indicate that she is heading for a waterhole and possibly will hunt for something to eat. On the next day, we find them all a few hundred meters up the riverbed. One of the cubs is eating on an impala carcass that his mother has hoisted into a tree, overhanging the riverbed. The mother is on guard at the base of the tree. The other cub is in the branches of a nearby tree, quietly awaiting its turn. This is training for a solitary life. There are so many things that a baby leopard has to learn in order to survive, and then even more in order to thrive. One has to learn how to be comfortable in a tree. One has to learn how to stalk and how to pounce. One has to learn to eat alone and to defend your kill if anyone else tries to muscle in, even if it is your mother or your sister. One has to learn to use the carnassial shears of one's premolars to slice meat off the prey as sharply as if it's done with a butcher's knife. One has to learn how to find a safe and comfortable position when you've eaten too much. You would not want to fall out of the tree when you fall asleep. There may be enemies below, scrounging for scraps. One has to learn that there are always dangers around, always hyenas lurking. One has to learn that if you're too rough with your kill, you could drop it out of the tree. The baby's tugging dislodges the carcass. It crashes out of the tree. The mother is there in a flash. She first looks for dangers and checks where the cubs are. The hyena has heard the crash and rushes in. Mother has to hoist the kill, but now the guilty cub is following her. She gives a sharp command and the baby scampers away with an impressive little growl. Mother has made it up another tree with the carcass, and both cubs are safe high in the tree. The hyena has to make do with scraps, but it was close. She could have taken the whole carcass, or she could even have caught the cub. This tense moment just shows us again how deeply ingrained discipline saves lives. The hyena continues to scrounge while the mother leopard pauses to check on her cubs and takes time to decide where she should put the dangling kill. Next morning, there are no leopards at the tree where the carcass is still dangling. After a bit of tracking, we find them a short distance away. Mom has taken them for a walk to keep them strong and to keep them learning and to walk off the heavy meal they have been having. Both cubs are wanting to suckle, but Mom is having none of it. If she lets them drink their fill, they will get sleepy And out here in the open, that will be dangerous. They need to keep wide awake until they get back to a safe place. Here we can see that one of the cubs has bluish eyes like its mother, while the other has yellow eyes like the father. We can see the snarling body language, but we cannot hear a sound. Yet it seems that the cubs can hear her perfectly. Without looking at her snarl, they both react in their own way, the guilty one by pulling its ears flat, and the other one by snarling back, also apparently soundlessly. We are convinced that the messages are audible to them, as with a dog whistle, probably just at a frequency that we cannot hear. Later we find them resting back at the home tree where the tattered carcass is still hanging and the hyena is still snuffling around. When it is safe, they are allowed to suckle again. He lets them wander away a little, directs them to deposit their feces amongst the droppings of other animals until someday in the future when they may use them to mark their own territories. He lets them play to improve their dexterity. To use their paws and their claws. He makes them walk and exercise to build their stamina and to get a sense of their surroundings, the smells, the textures, and the dangers. He lets them stalk each other and pounce, learning the strategies of attack and defense. He lets them learn where they should and should not walk, where there are thorns and where the going is easy. And always she is vigilant, caring for them, nurturing them, and guarding them. She is aware of every scent around her, every sound, every alarm call, be it from a kudu, a squirrel, or a bird. She has known about the hyena long before it arrived. Her life is for now dedicated to getting these little cubs to adulthood and self-sufficiency. Somewhere in the background, patrolling, marking and guarding his territory with only one purpose, to disseminate and protect his own genes, is their yellow-eyed father. When it was about a year old, the yellow-eyed cub that you have come to know in this video was killed by this group of lions, the Nkauma pride. His blue-eyed daughter has carried on into adulthood. Her name is Laluka. Regardless of how well he does, leopards only live 13 to 15 years, and sometime soon a new male like this one will come into his territory and there will be a fight and the king may lose the fight. In that case, a new set of genes will be disseminated in this part of the Sabi Sands. But until that time, Tortoise Span male will be the king of the northern Sabi Sands.